Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be just a little bit of a different video. It's going to be more of a podcast style where we kind of discuss one or two topics. It's been rainy season in Florida, so I've been more encouraged to film inside. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Okay, so by reading the title and thumbnail, you guys already kind of know what the basis of this video is going to be about. I just want to kind of talk about social media and just the mental side of it. And honestly, kind of what had me thinking about starting this topic was when I was in isolation, I wasn't on social media. I wasn't on Instagram. I wasn't on TikTok really. Like I was really with myself. It was slow, it was boring maybe, but it was peaceful. And now that I've been more active on social media and starting my YouTube channel and trying to build like my modeling portfolio, I kind of find myself wanting to compare looks, lifestyle, and just a lot of other things that come from social media. And so it kind of inspired me to kind of sit down and talk to the camera because I know that I'm not different from a lot of other individuals, especially a lot of other women. And I know that we compare so much. And it's like, I was listening to this podcast with Jay Shetty and he had a guest on that kind of studied the mental side of social media. And it's crazy because a lot of people suffer from mental health issues because of social media. Like if you look at, and they were also doing studies on like millennials where social media got introduced later on in their lives. And then they were looking at Gen Z where obviously social media was introduced earlier in our lives. And the differences between them and us was just thinking about how many of us are affected by social media. And really what it is because I feel like a lot of it is just having so much access to other people's lives. Like I personally don't like watching stories like that because I just feel like sometimes always knowing where somebody is, what they're doing, like that's not normal, but social media has kind of made it normal in a funny way. And I just remember like how peaceful and how quiet my mind was when I wasn't on social media. So after taking that break and just going into isolation, like my approach to social media again is just different. And this may be your sign to just go ghost and take a digital detox because it sometimes can consume you more than you even realize until it's almost too late. And it's funny because there's just so many times when we are on social media and we're just not even conscious. Like we'll go doom scrolling and we're in the reels, TikTok loop, and it's just like, we're not conscious. We're looking for dopamine. We're looking for entertainment. We're looking for a distraction. And we always have access to it. You know, like we're in such a consumerist time that it's just so easy to kind of get like caught up in it. And that's another reason kind of why I love content creation for myself in a way, because my goal is to create more and put out more than I consume. And that's just a personal goal for me. And I know not everybody is into content creation, but I do recommend finding something, whether it's a hobby, whether it is just something that you love to do, and do that more than you consume. Because I look at everything as energy. And think about every video that's from a different creator, that's from a different person, that's being a different type of energy. And think about how many different energies that you run into on a regular basis just from scrolling for 30 minutes, 10 minutes, you know, like, and like what that does to you, even on a subconscious level. And like I said, it's so easy to kind of get stuck in that loop. And at the end of the day, sometimes you have to understand that that's also a habit. Like I love talking about habits because habits is really why we do what we do and why it's sometimes hard to stop doing what we do. Something that isolation taught me was understanding that I didn't want to spend the rest of my life or just spend my good years, like my 20s, comparing myself to other 20-year-olds. Some of them I haven't even met, you know what I'm saying, that have these followings and have these platforms. And, you know, like, especially being a model, like wanting to be in that world and so involved, and you know, it's so easy to be like, oh, I wish I looked like her so I can get this job, or oh, I wish I was this size so I could walk in this fashion show. Like, it's so crazy. And I know there's other models out there that are dealing with mental health problems just because of the industry that we're in. And you know, times are changing. It's definitely not like it used to be, but I feel like it's so easy just to compare yourself. And I don't want to spend the rest of my life wishing I was somebody else. I don't want to spend the rest of my life comparing my body when I have a body that works for me. And that's something hair loss taught me, is that like, I'm grateful that I can wake up in the morning and use my hands and my legs work for me. Like there's that video with Bella Hadid.
My brain works every day just to give thoughts. My heart works every day to give love. I can use my hands and my feet, and how lucky are we just with that? And so why am I worried about my hair thinning or my acne or the fact that like I hated this picture of myself?
Like, we have so much to be grateful for, and that's kind of why I like removing myself from social media, because it makes you feel less than, like you're comparing your life to somebody who you don't even know, what they're doing to get that lifestyle. And I know it's like, okay, but like I still want it. Like, I know it's so easy to think that, but like, one thing that I have been reminding myself of too, when I do catch myself comparing, is that somebody else's success and somebody else's wins doesn't define mine, doesn't define my abundance. Everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own story, you know? And I know you've seen where it's like Oprah got fired and then she became Oprah. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has that story. And so there's no use to compare. There's no use in comparing yourself to people, because it doesn't take away from you. You know, like, there is an audience for everybody. There is people out there who can connect with you, who can relate to you if you put yourself out there, if you allow it to. And then there was also this quote. I know I'm like quote after quote after quote. You guys are probably like, dang, all this girl do is read or listen to a podcast. But really, that's literally all I do. There was this quote that was like, if the world was blind, how would you be seen? How would you be felt? Like, especially going through just what I've been going through in the last couple of months, like, I really realized how important it is to be a beautiful being on the inside first, before, or at least when you are interacting with people, understanding that what you're seeing isn't always what is true. There's those quotes that looks can be deceiving, you know, like how I'm approaching the modeling world now is that I'm a supermodel on the inside before I'm a supermodel on the outside. Like, when you do see me on a billboard, when you do see me in a magazine, you see me and you know that I'm a voice for you. I am an inspiration for you. I'm not just somebody trying to sell you something. That this is also my childhood dream. I said this in my isolation video, and it was, I encourage everybody to go into a period of time where it's just them and their thoughts and their habits, and really get to know yourself, because I feel like a lot of us don't feel like we're doing what we're supposed to, in a way. Like, and when I say that, I mean, like, you don't feel like you're at the right job. You don't feel like you're around the right people. And all of that can be changed. Like, all of us are feeling this way. And I feel like one of the ways to kind of help yourself get out of that is a period of isolation. And it's scary, it's uncomfortable, because especially if you've always been surrounded by people, and I feel like humans kind of do that as a survival thing as well. Like I feel like it does kind of go back to the days when we were with like hunter gatherers, and we were with like a tribe of people. Like I feel like that's kind of where it comes from, of like always wanting to be in the pack, and because it's safe. And I feel like that's kind of why a lot of us like can fear isolation and fear being alone, but I feel like that's kind of why it feels so freeing once you do it. Like my isolation period really was the catalyst to so much change in my life. And spending that much time with myself really changed me from the inside out, and really just allowed me to grow into this person that I am right in front of you. Like I always knew I was going to do like content and like making videos and doing all of this stuff, but like who I am in front of the camera speaking to you guys now is a completely different person than before that. And I'm proud that I am this version of myself clicking record and speaking to you guys instead of that old version of me. Not that my old version wasn't worthy or wasn't confident or whatever. I just, now that I have gone through things, and now that I have more of a developed story, I feel like I can give you guys more value and teach you more of the lessons that I have learned. We can sometimes worry about the things that don't matter, and we can focus our energy on things that are bringing us down, like comparison, you know, like, and I decided in that isolation, because I was off of social media for so long, that when I did step back on the platform, it wasn't going to be a place that I could bring myself down. It wasn't going to be a place where I could compare and have negative thoughts. When I did step back on the platform, I wanted to make sure I was showing up as my authentic self, because one of the things that I came to terms with in my isolation period was I no longer cared what other people thought about me, because I spent so long doing that and it got me nowhere. It got me nowhere. And I feel like a lot of us do that. I feel like a lot of us, you know, wear a mask, and we don't mind when that mask or false persona gets judged, because that's not really who we are, so it doesn't cut as deep. But when you're showing up as yourself and you're showing up authentically and who you are to the core, and somebody judges that, it's harder to deal with that than the mask. Again, it feels safe. And that's kind of what I had to learn to let go, because sometimes it's bigger than us. Sometimes it's bigger than us because our dreams, our purpose, and our light are bigger than our fears, doubts, and insecurities. Because you really never know the mountains you can move when you're being yourself. And that ripple effect is something that you don't know until you're doing it. Sometimes we fear our own success, where it's like our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our biggest fear is that we are powerful beyond all measures. I kind of want to continue on that topic of, if the world was blind, or if people couldn't see you, who would you be? Because I feel like when we were younger and when we were children, we were never looking at looks. You know, like there's that quote or that saying that's like, life is better when you kind of forget what you look like and you're just being. And it's so true. Like, why does everything always have to be about looks? You know, like, I feel like all of us want to kind of go back to being children in a way, or letting our inner childs play. Like, what I like to do is I practice kind of being in my inner child. And one of the things that I do, and I was actually doing this today, was I watched the show H2O Mermaids. The people who get it, get it. The girlies who get it, because that was my show. Like, anytime that I was in a pool, anytime I was at the beach, I was a mermaid. Like, that was my ting, man. And so I was watching that today, and it kind of brought back that nostalgia of just like, wow, like, life was so good when I was just watching this show and playing mermaids in the pool with my girls. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I feel like girls too are almost in this competition with each other as well. Like, again, comparison, competition. A lot of that I feel like is from social media, and there's obviously, in my opinion, this is my channel, my opinion, I feel like a lot of that comes from men in a way, and that's a topic for another day. But like, I know us girlies are just wanting to really be in that like era again, because it was more fun and it was more of a love vibration compared to the vibration that I feel like we've been put into now. And so, and the thing is, it's funny too, is because for that to change, it's going to take a lot of women to, again, go into isolation almost and spend time with themselves. Because like, if you're always in that comparison, if you're always in that competition environment, you're just in that vibration. Like, there's no room for change. If that's what you're in, if the other people around you are in that same vibration, like, so yeah, that's kind of why I recommend isolation as well, because you're able to remove yourself and grow compared to just be stuck in that. I feel like a lot of us want to kind of connect with our younger selves and our little girl in us, because I feel like our teenager or our just like young adult or women, no matter what, because I talk to also a lot of women, older women, who also feel that way. And it's like, it's kind of sad. Like, there's really a lot of healing that needs to be done. And that healing comes from spending time with yourself, and just at least spending time around the right individuals that kind of make you see how long you've been putting up with it. So yeah, like, I spend a lot of time with my inner child. Like, I love painting. I love spending time outside in nature. Like, I used to, when I was younger, like, I used to collect like flowers and like just a bunch of like items. And I used to just make the most crazy thing, like potions and stuff. Like, and life was so simple. Like, there really was no social media. Like, when I was a kid, like, there was no social media. I would say it wasn't until like I was in middle school, and I wasn't even allowed to get it till like my 8th grade year, and I was chilling. Like, obviously, like, I wanted like a phone because everyone else had one, like, and yada yada yada. But like, life was cool. Like, and the funny thing is, bro, like, when you look outside, we don't see kids playing like that. Like, we need to start like a movement of just like even adults going outside and having field days and kickball competition, because I know that's like really what we need. Like, I know more and more people are like, I hate just going to work and making dinner and showering and go to bed. Like, I hate that like rinse, wash and repeat cycle. I know we just all need like a good old field day. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, I hope that this video made sense. I kind of was all over the place, but I feel like you guys definitely got the basis of what I was trying to say, or what topics I was really trying to like hit the hammer on the head to. So with that being said, thank you so much for giving me your time and energy today. Please go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe. I love you. I hope that you're pouring love into yourself. I hope that you're being intentional with yourself, and I will catch you on the next one.